Huh? Oh, that's a bit awkward. Bro, how did that happen? Basically, yeah. I use someone's mug. Like I'm live right now as well, yeah. So people can probably see this. Firstly, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I used someone's mug, yeah. Boy, it was black. I put green tea in it, and now it's got like a female on it and that. I'm very confused. Did you guys know that was even a thing? So, subhanallah. Okay, it's like I don't know what to do. Bro, it was a black mug. Wallah, it was a black mug. You know, it's like I think it's like one of those ones where like but you put something in it and it becomes a picture or something. I don't know. Is that a thing? Am I just making it up? Firstly, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. What's going on, people? How many people we got in here? Who's on for this sales session? I need a couple of messages, man. I need the interactive session. Let's let a few people come in. Inshallah. Let's let everyone know that we're here. Is Abu Saleh with me? Are you there? Are you here, my friend?
Did somebody ask that?
Yeah.
Well, then, my voice must be very unique.
Your voice is unique. What's this? Okay, alhamdulillah, that's done. Helping me to get out the hood, yeah? Are you Pakistani national? I am Pakistani national. Okay, firstly, what I want to know from you guys is what sort of cold calls do you guys struggle with? What sort of cold calling or what sort of sales sessions or in which scenario do you guys struggle? If cold calling is something you guys do, then what do you struggle with? That's what I want to know first. Well, I have to drink this tea here, but there's like a female on it, so I can't even show you guys. I want to know that first. If you do sales, if you do cold calling, what do you struggle with? Tell me. Doesn't tell me. Doesn't be the first message. Let me hide this female. Yeah, I know nothing, to be honest. Okay, khair, inshallah. Anyone else? Is there anything you guys struggle with, or are you guys sales specialists? Something I struggle with a lot is actually when the prospect says they're interested. When the gatekeepers being there though. How would you introduce yourself to a potential client when you don't have any candidates? Recruitment. Yes, more like you. Barakallah feek. They say they're interested, and then it catches you off guard. Okay, so I guess, look, if a client says they are interested, the first thing I would say, the issue here is in your mindset before you're making the call. So what do I mean by this? You're already in a negative mindset when you're making calls. And actually having the right mindset when you're making the calls is super important. So for example, I pick up the phone, I'm expecting them to say, yes, we need someone. Yes, we're interested. Because having that expectation, one, you sound a lot more confident on the phone. One, you come across a lot better. And three, if the client actually says that they are interested, you're not going to be caught off guard. By the sounds of it, what's happening is you're being caught off guard because you don't actually believe someone's going to say they're interested. So definitely believe in it. Definitely tell yourself every call before you make the call, I am going to get business. The client is going to be happy with me. It's very important to have a positive mindset rather than a negative mindset. I promise you one thing. The negative mindset will always come across over the phone, it will always come across because you'll be unsure when you're making the call. And therefore, when a client asks you a question, because you're feeling like you're unsure, you won't answer it with confidence. Now, if you're not confident, that's going to come across on the phone as well. So, for example, the client says, random question, but how long have you guys been around? And you say, oh, a couple of years. Rather, if you say something like, client says, how long have you guys been around? And you say something like, to be fair, we're quite new. Having said that, we specialize in this industry and that industry, and we're looking to grow our clientele. So though we haven't been in the industry for long, we know that we're able to provide a good service on a continuous basis. You're waffling, but the point being is you're confident and you come across a lot more confident, and that's important. So coming across confident makes a massive difference when making calls. So I hope that, inshallah, helps you. When the gatekeeper is being a dog. Okay, so if you're struggling with the gatekeeper, the issue here with the gatekeeper is you have to know that they get calls every single day. You're not the only person. So the reason that they're being the way they are being is because they're getting these calls on a continuous basis. Like 2-3 minutes before you call them, probably someone else could call them. So a couple of things that work. And by the way, like just speaking on gatekeepers, honestly speaking, I could speak about gatekeepers for like 3 or 4 hours, honestly. But to keep it short and to give you the main point, when it comes to the gatekeepers, understand that they are speaking to people on a continuous basis. Everyone's calling, everyone's trying to sell, so on and so forth. The whole job of a gatekeeper is to make sure that only valuable calls get to the person that you're trying to get through to. So understand that you have to stand out. You have to stand out in the sense where you have to be different to everyone else, and you have to build a relationship with the gatekeeper. It's very important, actually, building a relationship with the gatekeeper, because this gatekeeper will continue to put you forward to the client on an ongoing basis. I mean, look, how many times are you actually going to close a deal in your first call? Very, very, very unlikely. Actually, what you need to do is build that relationship with the gatekeeper. Make sure that gatekeeper likes you, because then the second time or the third time or the fourth time you call, the gatekeeper is going to be much more welcoming to you, and therefore put your call forward to the person you want to actually speak to. So definitely try to build a relationship. There are a few things that you can do to make this happen. I like to always find out the person's name, and I think that really helps. So for example, let's just say the person's name is Lindsay, right? And they say, hello, Lindsay, XXX Limited speaking, for example. When I'm speaking to this person, I will also say, hey, Lindsay, it's XXX from XXX. I'll say, hey, Lindsay, it's Abu Musa from. And so the reason I do that, because if you think about it, when you take someone's name, there is sort of, you always be like, if you take your name right now, for example, Ibrahim. As soon as I said Ibrahim definitely went, ooh, like his attention increased definitely, because I called him by his name. So wa alaikum assalam, Ibrahim, firstly. And so the point is, call them by their name. Be very nice, because in sales, they often, you're told not to be that nice to the gatekeeper. So, and it's like you have to be abrupt. That's not true. Build that relationship. Building a relationship with the gatekeeper is the key to building a long-term relationship with that business as well. So hopefully that helps. Yeah. Okay, so this green tea is bad. Oof. Okay, how long after initial contact would you follow up by email? Oh, it depends. It depends. So the follow-up email can happen straight away. The follow-up email can be like, look, thank you so much for your time. Not a problem. I'm going to send you across an email with my contact details. Anything changes, let me know. That's something that I do quite often. Now, if you're going to end it on that, obviously you want to send the email straight away. If it's though like a follow-up email, you've already spoken to the client and it's like you just want to check in again, it depends on the client. A client might say something like, whatever the business or whatever they are providing, you are providing them, we only need that service every month, every 6 weeks, every 2 months. You have to play it by the ear. If it's a massive company, then every 2, 3, 4 weeks is okay. Obviously, you don't want to push it and like every week you're chasing them up. That is annoying. You don't want to go down that route. And actually, speaking to them over the phone is always the best route, I feel. But if you feel like you've called them too much, then sending them an email is just fine. What sort of email though? Because maybe I'll just touch upon that. Peppermint, bro. Don't, man. Honestly, I'm having a lemon. What am I having? I'll tell you what I'm having. What I'm having. Pure green tea. That's why it's so dirty. So where was I with this? Emails. So when it comes to emails, make sure you're not sending massive, huge emails. If you are sending long emails to your clients, nobody's got the time to read long emails. If your email that you're sending your clients is 3 or 4 paragraphs long, promise you one thing, man. Like a client does not have time to read a 3-4 paragraph email. It's just not likely. You want to practically, I only make my emails 1 or 2 lines. It will be, hi, so-and-so speaking. I've got this for you. Any chance you'd be interested? For example, that's it. Because a client probably gets, honestly speaking, yeah, like I don't know if I got off this, if I guess it might affect the live, but I get like 5 or 6 sales emails every day. And honestly, I get it on my watch. I'll practically look at it. I'll be like, oh, allow that. Like that's how I do it now. Like these watches are super annoying because, like, I guess for people like us, because if we're selling, if it's a weird email, like you'll just be like, oh, yeah, whatever, and just, you know what I mean? Like swipe it off. So keep it short. In terms of emails as well, make sure your subject is sort of appealing, and you don't have to be that specific in your subject. Make sure your subject doesn't give the full story of what you're going to or what you're trying to sell in your email, basically. Because if you do that, Assalamu alaikum. This guy's moving mad, bro. So yeah, and make sure you don't give the full story of what your email is about. If you give the full story of what your email is about, then no one's going to want to open your email. It should be ambiguous. So if it's ambiguous, clickbait, as weird as it is, you know what I mean? I'm sure you guys know many YouTubers that do the clickbait thing. So maybe just take a lesson out of their book, inshallah, that helps. Like the mad thing is, yeah, sunny, man. And I don't even blame you guys. I can't believe some of you guys are even sitting here, bro. I want to be outside right now. Cold email or cold call. No doubt, cold calling is better. 100%. If anyone says to you, cold emails is better, and I have seen this phenomenon, this bid'ah, basically, recently, weird. Wallah, it's weird. How can cold emails be better? It's not better. I'll tell you that for a fact. And I'll tell you why. In an email, you will never be able to get your personality across. Impossible. So, for example, 3 people now. You're always in sales. You're always challenging the other company. Reality. Okay. Now, there's 3 companies. I have to be careful with my fingers right now. But 2 of them email, right, and say this is what we got, etc., etc. 1 calls, speaks to the person, and emails. Now, you tell me, where are you more likely to go for business? The person you've spoken to. Sales is trust. You buy from the people you trust. This is something that, like, people have I'm not saying something new, by the way. 100%, most of you guys will know this, that sales, you only buy from the people you trust, right? Yes or no? 100%. So now, how can you build, what is the best way to build trust? Through cold calling, through speaking to someone. In fact, what's the best way? Meeting someone face to face. That's actually the best way to win someone's trust, because they see you, they trust you, they like you, you build rapport with them, and it secures business long term. Now, if someone says cold emails is better, or I prefer cold emails, Well, I have to be honest. That's basically saying to me, I'm scared of making those calls. And yeah, that's all that's saying to me. So if you're that guy, be honest with yourself and tell yourself, yep, cold calls are better. I will also do cold emails, no problem. But understanding what's better for you is always also very important. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Alhamdulillah, Zidan. I'm good, man. Animated, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. What to say when they say your prices are too high? Okay, so we'll go over that. So, cold emailing is like texting someone. You're not necessarily genuine, you're talking through your mind. Cold calling comes from your heart and more genuine. A lot of people talk more through text. Okay, I think I got the gist of that. But basically, put it this way, when you speak to someone over the phone, remember, a lot of the times you're texting someone you know. You know what I mean? You've met them, you've spoken to them, you know who they are. You can put like, if you get a text from someone random, you're never gonna reply. You know what I mean? You don't reply because why would you ever reply? Now, once you build a trust relationship, no problem. Then you can email as much as you want. But if you're winning the business, right? If you're winning the business, that person needs to be able to trust you. What to say when the price is too high? Amazing. So this now comes down to negotiating. You know what? If you are you know what? Nah, hang on. How to get over cold calling anxiety. I'll go over that. This bit here, Allah, is actually very important, so I'll go over it. If someone's this female, bro. Sorry, man. I basically I took a mug. I need to say it quietly. I took a mug, black mug. I thought it's generic. I put the thingy in it, and now there's a flipping woman on my mug. So I don't know how that happened, but this trust me, is stress. I don't even like. It was a black mug. I don't understand. I'm actually gonna take a picture of this and put it on my gram and show you guys when it's black. I don't know what happened. I think it's like one of the magic things that you put some hot water in and a picture comes out. SubhanAllah, it looks like she's looking at me now. A'udhu billah. Anyway, back to the point. So, what do you say when your price is too high? Okay, good. Negotiating, again, I could talk about it for 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 hours. Like, and I'm not even trying to exaggerate, but I'm going to give you the overall points. When you're negotiating, it's important to understand you don't necessarily have to negotiate on price. Okay, so what do I mean by this? For example, something we all understand. Okay, a car. Now, the car is too expensive. Maybe you can say something like, say for example, I'm the dealer and I'm selling this car, for example, right? And dealers do this, and you may have heard this before. But you go to them and you say, look, the car's too high, look, make it cheaper. They'll say, yeah, all right, we can do this cheaper, but then you don't get the warranty. Or we can do this cheaper, but you don't get the guarantee and you don't get this extra stuff. And then they'll negotiate on that. Understood? Now, what's the point of it? What do they do there? They've negotiated on something which also is of benefit, but it's not direct money. So, like sometimes you don't necessarily have to negotiate on the money. For example, if you are providing a service to a client, okay, now, and the client uses you, I don't know, and uses you and like 2 other companies, for example, for a service. The service could be anything, could be gardening, could be marketing, could be recruitment, whatever it is. And the client says, look, it's just too expensive. You can turn around and say, you know what? Okay, no problem. I will lower it for you, but I will lower it on the basis that you will not use anyone else for your marketing, your recruitment, your gardening, or whatever. You're not going to use anyone else. I will lower it and we'll move forward that way. So now you're negotiating on something else, which is not money. So you, for example, the client says, I want you to come to my gardening for me. You say it's £100, and the guy says, yeah, but I use 2 other gardeners and it's just fine. You say, okay, no problem. Look, I will do it for £90. I'll do it on the basis that for the next 3 months you're only going to use me though, because let's be honest, I'm always looking after you, sort of thing. So I'll do it, but £90 you only use me. Now what you're doing is you're guaranteeing business long term for yourself and therefore more money, but you've lowered the money because that was their pain. Now you need to understand what their pain point is, right? So a client might actually not care about money. A client might care just about the service they provide. So it's important to understand there are objections. Well, like by the way, honestly speaking, sales is massive. I promise you, sales is massive. I could talk about this for hours and hours and hours, which is why I actually created the sales course because it's massive. But when it comes to, like, for example, objections, you need to understand what the client's objection is. Is it where the price is too high, or is it where I don't know, they need it quickly, for example, or is it where they want the best service, right? You need to understand what the objection is, so you could address that. So hopefully that gives you some idea into how to go about the price is too high. Now, if you, by the way, want to you could, again, this is massive. There are so many parts of negotiating. I'm just giving you a little tip that you don't necessarily have to always negotiate with the money. Though, if you want to negotiate with the money, and that's the best thing to do in the beginning, negotiate with the money. But you want to say something along the lines of, look, I'm more than happy to provide you a service, and I'm more than happy to provide the best service you need. But unfortunately, I do have to keep this price because I want to be able to give it the right time. Obviously, I have other people paying this amount, this price. And so it would be unfair and unjust for me now to lower it for yourself and keep it the same for them. I'm obviously going to, it's going to be difficult for me to be able to give you the same time, for example. So, that's something you could say. So those are the sort of things you can speak about, basically, or address. Again, negotiating is massive, 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 but just a few tips. Let's get over. How to keep a track of which companies we have already called if we build a list of 100 names. Okay. By the way, if you have any questions, ask the questions, and then inshallah I'll try to go through them as much as I can. Hopefully that then keeps it of benefit. You know what I mean? Hopefully that just inshallah benefits you guys. So, in terms of the list question, by the way, sorry, cold calling anxiety. Let me answer that first. I have to be honest. Look, you have to see it like this. That person doesn't know you. No one's ever going to find out that who you are. What you're never going to see them. I get it. You might be a little bit worried. Tell yourself this: I am just going to make 50 calls, regardless of what happens on the other side of the line. The number one step is to do the numbers. That's the number one step. And so, if you're not making the amount of calls, then you're not going to be that successful in sales, because by doing the numbers, it's like practice, right? It's like, I'm sure most of you guys as brothers here, maybe the sisters, like, I don't want to be some sexist guy, but it's like going and practicing a free kick over and over and over again. Now you make it wrong, you make mistakes and whatnot, but the more you do, the better you will become. Today, now, alhamdulillah, I don't actually make that many calls. If anything, I probably make, like, if I need to get business on, which most of the times I don't actually need to get business on anymore, just because of I already have existing clients. If though I'm showing someone, I make like 10 sales calls, because it's practice. Like, and I'm not saying like, oh, look at me, I'm amazing, but I'm saying, look, it's taken me 9 years to do that. So just practice does make perfect. Tell yourself you're going to do those 50 calls no matter what, and just do them. When you get to the 15th or the 20th call, you'll feel a lot more confident. And also, I haven't got my phone here, but when you're making the calls, don't wait in between the calls. Don't feel like you need to. So just pick up the phone, make the call, put it down, pick up the phone, make the call, put it down. And like, that's how quick you should be making calls. If you spend too much thinking about it, you're not going to make enough calls. If you don't make enough calls, you're going to lower the chances of you having some success, etc., etc. So I hope that helps. This woman. Oh man, this green tea is terrible. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah, Shayyar. What's happening, man? How often do you work overtime? How often do I work overtime? I have to be honest. One of the main reasons I personally work overtime is because I don't make the most of my time when I am working. Well, that's the honest truth. Bro, I'll take it easy. Look, like today, I think I woke up at like 8, came in, you know what I mean? I came in for like 9:30. So subhanAllah, if I like I have breaks, I'll go to the shop, take it easy, enjoy the sun. Wallahi, I'll go outside, I'll sit in the sun for a bit, just you know what I mean? I enjoy my days, and therefore sometimes I'll work like until like, of course, like sometimes I'll be here till like 6:37. But the days that I know I've got something planned, like yesterday, I went to the park with my family and stuff, like my missus and the little one. I made sure I came in like 9 o'clock, and I was done by like 3 o'clock, and so I just went home then. So I work overtime because I'm not the smartest with my time, to be honest. Hardest, they started 26 minutes ago. So yeah. So would you have this? Live session. Love session, yeah? A'udhu billah. Habibi, I think you're getting it mixed up. Just because I did a video for Sunnah Match does not now mean that this is a love session. You know what I mean? So, would you suggest looking at candidate CV to find companies over going on Google Maps? Some places, yes. I again, this is recruitment, but if you're talking about the best way to get companies, then it's through CVs, because those guys have already worked for the sort of jobs that you're wanting to speak to companies about, and so that is the best way. That's the best way, I would say. But yeah, when you make calls this live, I guess it doesn't really make sense to make calls this live because I mean it's 6 o'clock, right? There's no companies open at this point. If you guys want me to do that, then yeah, let me know. You know what to do? Tag me in a little look. Take a picture right now and just say you want me to do live calls and tag me in on the gram. That's the only way I can know, right? Look, I'll even look good for you guys. How about that? If you want me to do live calls, then I'll do that. But obviously, at 6 o'clock, I can't do live calls right now. So take a picture and just tag me in it so I know that that's what you guys want. Well, like, it's hard because some people don't even want to do sales is so massive, it's difficult to do sales calls on each area. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to answer your questions, and that would be easier. Then hopefully, inshallah, I'm answering questions rather than just doing a sales session, which is generic. Would you suggest if you know candidate using job boards, but where do you find the clients? So you can obviously through CVs, if a candidate is working for like companies, then you can see, like, for example, an accountant has worked for XXX, XXX, XXX account. So there's like 10 accountants, right? They've all worked for companies. You could call those companies up that they work for, basically. I mentioned this in the course. I guess maybe you've got the course, maybe you haven't. I assume you've got the recruitment course. If you haven't, then yeah, it's on there. I mentioned like how to make a list and stuff. My concern is that if I do practice cold calls in my niche, I might run out of clients to call and I blew the chance in getting the client. I'll tell you something. You'll be very surprised how many companies there are in your niches. Wallahi, there are. If I said to you right now how many engineering companies there are, you'd probably say for 300, 400. Actually, to be honest with you, wallahi, let me search it right now. Imagine how many engineering companies there are in the UK. Okay, check this. How many engineering companies in the UK? So 721 enterprises are registered as engineering companies. 721,000. To be honest with you, man, you need 2 or 3 of those. You know what I mean? So again, that's just engineering. So obviously, accounting is even bigger, IT is even bigger. You know what I mean? There's loads, man. Advice for preparing for a potential recession. One, the best advice I could give is don't prep for a recession. That's a negative mindset. So I've heard this a few times now. People saying, "Look, a recession is coming, etc., etc." Don't prep for it. If you prep for it, look, the reality is people have been thinking a recession is coming over the obviously before COVID. People thought a recession was coming for 10 years and it never came. You know what I mean? So imagine prepping for something that isn't coming for 10 years. So don't prep for it. But obviously be aware that some industries will do better than other industries when it comes to the recession. And just look at those. Sorry, man, I feel like I'm missing a few. If there's like an important question, please just ask again because I don't want to miss like an important one. When starting a recruitment business, how much hours would you need work weekly? Well, like the truth is, you can do it part-time as well. Part-time is just fine. You can also do it full-time. Obviously, if you do it part-time, you're going to have lower chances of success because you're not putting in that much effort. You can still make it a success. The reality is, you know, subhanAllah, I don't even want to tell you guys yet, but let's just say today, there was a time I called a client. The client said, yes, we need someone. Second CV I think I called. The guy goes, yep, I'm happy to do it. I called the client. I said, can you interview them today? And the candidate said, yeah, I'm close enough. I can go see them today. This was like 1, 2 o'clock. Well, I don't even want to, how can I even prove this to you that I'm not even wasting? You know what? Look, I'm going to go to my emails, record. Yeah, look. So what I'm going to do, look, I'm going to take a picture of it. Oh, I can't because the flipping name's going to be on there. Basically, there was a person, he went in 3 o'clock, 2 hours later, alhamdulillah, he got the job. So sometimes it's quick, sometimes it's long, but that's not the point. You have to be consistent. Like, just don't worry about, like, I need money right now. Unfortunately, social media has got you into the mindset, or sometimes has got us in the mindset, like, we need money now. The truth is, if you get a client, one client, right? One client who gives you ongoing work in a year, like, your life has changed. That's just the reality of it. So, you know, consistency overcomes it, basically. Consistency, I would say. I think I've missed a couple of questions now. How do you show authority in the call? I think that comes with time, with confidence, and knowing what you're speaking about. When you know what you're speaking about, then yeah. Advice for preparing for a potential risk. Okay, I'll answer that. Does the course how to make calls, e.g., techniques to use? I will answer that. I'll let the brothers and sisters answer that. How big the sales session is in the recruitment course? The answer is short, but I'll let the brothers answer that question because it's a bit. Maybe I'm gonna obviously say that. You know what I mean? Does not having a British accent affect your ability to get a client? Well, no, definitely not. Definitely not. Sometimes, yeah, there will be some racist individuals. Like, you just continue. You continue doing you, man. Like, how are you gonna affect an accent? Don't let an accent affect your ability to do business. Okay, wait. For my recruitment, should I target one specific niche? For example, I'm into IT. I would look for IT candidates. I would say start focusing on IT. Yeah, no problem. Start with that, and then you can move up. Recruitment was how do you get? Well, there's a lot of recruitment questions, which is understandable. But if you have any other like sales, cold calling, you know what I mean, just so others can benefit as well, please feel to ask me on those as well. How do you think of HGV trucking company niche? Yeah, HGV is good. HGV is good. You will find it harder to find the candidates, but you'll get clients running to you, man. You'll get clients like begging you for people. So it's very easy to pick up HGV jobs. How to study your niche? The best way to understand your niche is by speaking to as many candidates as you can. That's what I would say. When you speak to a lot of candidates, then they give you like the lowdown of everything. What to say in brief? I'm calling a client but don't have any candidates. I can't start by saying got a couple of guys. Okay, man. So there's many ways you can. So you can call, for example, a client. And you could say something along the lines of, can I speak to the person who looks after the recruitment for yourselves? Or can I speak to, for example, the accountancy manager, the IT manager? Can I speak to the IT director? I know that you might be, for example, you could say something like, I know you might be looking for some IT people, or I know you might be looking for this. I know you might be looking for that, for example. And then you could say, I just want to speak to them about that, for example. So sounds weird, but you're bluffing it. You're bluffing it basically and saying, I know you might be looking for that. So I just wanted to speak to him and see if I could help him out with that, for example. You know what I mean? Sometimes just playing the bluff, because actually, if you call now 100 companies, the chances are you call 100 warehouses. Genuinely think about this yourselves. You call 100 warehouse companies, the chances are at least 10, 15 are looking for people. That's just the reality of it. So you're saying you're just playing the bluff, really. That's just one way, by the way, and there are many ways. I think I've gone through this through the sales course as well as the recruitment course on various ways you can start a cold call, or various things you could say. How to set up a security recruitment company. I guess, bro, it's the same way, basically. How you set up any other company, but your niche is just different. It's the same way. How do you get past someone that says, I'm not interested? I see, okay, great. So if someone says, it'd be very interesting to get one of you. Why don't you guys, does anyone want to jump on a call right now? Who's brave enough to jump on a call right now? And you guys can even be I'm happy for you guys to even be the client, and I'm happy to do the call. Suleiman, last time I did this, it didn't go down well, but Suleiman, you got my number? I said, Suleiman, you do have my number, I think. Mrs. is asking me what time I'm coming home, mate. Because of you guys, I'm here. 15. I'm gonna tell her. What time should I tell her? I'm gonna tell her 6:30. Inshallah. Yeah, Suleiman, you got my number, innit? Yeah, give me a call, man. So what I will say, if you guys want to do a scenario, you can ask Suleiman to be difficult, you can whatever you want, and then I will react basically, or I will do the call and how I will do the call. Call security. Have I missed a question? Suleiman, you calling me, bruv? What's this brother doing, man? Do you set up as a limited company straight away? It makes sense to set up as a limited company straight away, yes. There's no reason why you shouldn't. Coming up with a good name. So a few people ask me this, man. The name is so not important. Bro, who is this? Oh, I got a Vonage number, yeah? Hello? Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. What's happening? How are you? You okay?
I'm good, you man?
Yeah, not bad, man. Calling me from the Vonage number, yeah?
Yeah.
What you saying?
No, I'm good, man. I'm chilling.
Hang on, man. Was there a scenario that you wanted me to run through?
No, I just called.
This is Suleiman, right?
Yeah, this is the other Suleiman.
Which Suleiman?
The Hamachi one.
The legend.
Yeah, the legend.
Ah, the legend. I love it, Suleiman. Okay. Let's just see. All right, how about why don't you guys tell us a scenario that Suleiman should be like, in what sort of scenario? Like, for example, it's too expensive, or something that you think a client would say, and Suleiman will try to like, I'm not interested. Okay, Suleiman talk about marriage. These guys are having you on, Suleiman.
What? Say that again?
Suleiman, what do you say? Shall I get you some? Shall I get you the VIP account for? You know what I mean?
Yeah, give it.
Oh, I love Suleiman. Okay, so an abrupt client that doesn't want to hear it. Okay, you know what, Suleiman, you're gonna try to be. By the way, can you guys hear Suleiman? Suleiman, try to speak as clearly as you can, yeah.
All right.
So Suleiman's gonna try to be abrupt. It's a bit echoey, I know. I'm sorry for the echo, but inshallah this benefits you guys. So Suleiman's gonna try to be like, nah, I can't be asked, whatnot, basically. And I will do my best bit as I can, basically. Like I'm putting myself out for you guys, you know what I mean? So all right, Suleiman, I'll do the whole thing. So like let's just pretend like I've called. So it's like ring, and then I'll say the introduction. You just be a client, basically, yeah? Make sense?
Gotcha.
Okay. So ring. Hey, it's Abu Musa speaking. Just a quick one. Can I speak to the individual person that deals with the recruitment for yourselves? Is that you? Is that you?
No, they're in a meeting.
They're in a meeting at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Sorry, what did you say their name was?
What?
What did you say their name was?
Tim. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know when Tim is out of the meeting?
No, I don't.
You don't know. Okay, no problem. Is it all right? What I'll do? Sorry, you said your name was.
I can't give my name.
Okay, no problem. What I'll do is I will call back in about an hour and a half. Hopefully, then like Tim's a bit more free out of the meeting, sort of thing. It's just that I know that you're looking for IT contractors, so I just needed to speak to Tim about that. To be fair, so look, no problem. Let me call back in an hour and a half, and then I'll speak to Tim. But no, I appreciate your time. All right. All right. And then I will end the call. But now, the main thing is. Okay, so what did I do? A couple of things. It's by the way, you're not going to close a deal on your first call. The main thing is you're getting as much information as you can. So, for example, Tim was in a meeting. He might not be in a meeting. Suleiman might just be difficult with me. You know what I mean? But I know now. I asked, okay, Tim, right? Now the funny thing is, Suleiman gave me Tim's name, but didn't give me his own name, right? But listen, a lot of the times. Someone might just slip out a name, even when they shouldn't. Really, Suleiman technically shouldn't be giving me Tim's name, but he did, you know? So asking someone the question is very important. Finding out, why did I ask Suleiman's name? The reason I asked Suleiman's name, because now when I call next time, I will refer to him by his name. I will say, Suleiman, by the way, me again. Sorry, quick one. Can I get Tim? Now it's all of a sudden, it's like, I'm known to the company. It's like, we're boys, but we're not boys. You know what I mean? So I'm getting as much information as I can to help you for the second call. Now, this is a statistic. Most people, 90% of people will not even make the second or the third call to a company. But most business is closed on the seventh call or the sixth or the seventh call. So the point with that being is you win business by keeping in touch with your clients. That's how you win business. So is there any other way? Right, Suleiman, how about we do it where you are the client? Like you pick up and you're the main guy. Do you get what you're Tim, basically? Yeah?
Yeah, I'm Tim, yeah.
Okay. We'll do this one. Inshallah, this benefits you guys, and then I'll just take some more questions, sort of thing. So
Well, am I gonna be abrupt still?
You can be abrupt, bro, if you want to be abrupt, no problem.
No, I want to. What do you want me to do?
I guess the most beneficial thing is you be abrupt, but don't have it where you're abrupt, where you're just saying get off the phone. Be abrupt where we can still have a conversation, but you can be abrupt, no problem. You know what I mean? Because obviously, if you're like get off the phone, then there's no benefit basically. So be abrupt, be difficult, and I will just deal with those difficulties. So inshallah, people can see how I would deal with those basically. So okay, so ring. Hey, it's Abu Musa. Sorry, can I get Tim? Let's just pretend now Tim has picked up. Okay.
Yeah.
So is that Tim? Yeah, hey Tim, sorry, Musab, just a quick one actually. I know you were looking out for IT contractors. I just wanted to see, can I get, what sort of IT contractors exactly were you looking out for? Did you need someone with X software experience?
No, I need someone with wide software experience.
Okay. And what sort of experience do they exactly need apart from the white experience?
Well, it's got to be, it's got to be 5 years worth of experience. They've got to be a graduate, and they also need the Z experience as well.
Okay. How long have you been looking, by the way?
About a week.
A week. Have you had any CVs?
A few from other companies, yeah.
You've had a few from other agencies. Have you had any luck with them?
They've been a bit mixed, but.
What are you finding difficult? What is it you're finding difficult about them?
The candidates don't have the best experience.
See, that is tough in the current market. It is difficult to get the right experience. I mean, to be fair, I've got a couple of guys I'm working with quite closely. What sort of, I mean, how many other agencies are you working with?
Sorry, say that again?
How many other agencies are you working with? Two other agencies?
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. I've got a couple of guys. Let me get your team. What's your email address?
You could email the generic one, info@xx.com.
Yeah, okay, no problem. I'll send that across. It'd be interesting actually because I've got a couple of guys. I think they would be of good use to yourself. And yeah, I'll get them sent across to you. Have you got an idea? Like, what did you want to pay these guys?
Say that again?
What did you want to pay these guys?
It depends on experience. I don't want to give a definite answer.
I mean, would you pay them as much as 40, 50,000? I mean, is there a bracket? What would you say the bracket would be?
It depends on experience again. I'm thinking more in the 35,000.
Fab, no problem. Listen, that's not a problem, Tim. I don't want to keep you too long. What I'm going to do is send in across an email to the generic email address with these CVs. And you let me know what your thoughts are on them. We can take it from there. And then, yeah, we'll take it from the next steps and I'll see how quickly we can get them in for interview. I mean, when are you looking to interview?
Soon as possible, maybe in the next 2 months latest.
Next 2 months later. I mean, would you interview next week? I mean, what we're looking at Thursday today. Would you interview next week if the right candidate became available?
Yes.
Well, you know what? That's fine. Let me send these CVs across. Let's get this wrapped up quickly and then we'll take it from there. All right?
All right.
No problem. I'll speak to you soon. All right. So I'll end that. Suleiman, barakallah feek. No problem. We'll end it here. I'll catch up with you soon, inshallah. Ayakallah. Look after you.
Give a shout.
Huh?
Let me give a shout. Please.
Give a shout. Go on.
All right. First one is obviously, follow my page, Lemon Upload, all my recruitment company doing good, make dua. And also, ladies, if you want to find me online, go on to the match. My code is MO76.
Why did he hang up? I didn't hang up, by the way. What? Funny guy, man. Like, anyway, I don't know what happened there. I actually didn't hang up, by the way. It seemed like maybe he probably thinks I hung up. I didn't hang up. I hope he doesn't think that I hung up. Anyway, I want to review that call with you guys. I want to review that call with you guys and just mention the few things that I did that are important. Now, obviously, Suleiman's not a client. Obviously, he'll be easy in some things. I'll catch him off guard very easily. So, but let me explain. So, one, why don't you guys message as well? Let me know what you thought I did that was good, for example. And I'll also mention a couple of things. So, I asked him, a lot of the times he probably won't even say that he's looking for something, okay? But now let's take the assumption, because that's the route we went down, that he is looking for someone. I asked him about his other agencies, and I was being somewhat negative in my tone with like, how long have you been looking? Because if he now turns around and says, look, I've been looking for a while, I'm having no luck. A lot of companies, by the way, they don't find success straight away, right? So if you don't find success straight away, then it's an issue, because like I now can call the company and be like, oh, what? You're not finding any luck? What's going on? You're not getting any success? That's crazy. So now guess what? When it comes down to negotiating and I say I'm going to charge X, The client can't even turn around and be like, no, that's too much. Because guess what I'm going to say? I'm going to say, look, you've had it out with 2 other agencies. Clearly, they don't care. They're not sending you the right candidates. I am. And so I'm going to charge 15%. And the client's somewhat handicapped now because I already know he's not getting good success from his existing agencies. So these sort of things are very important. Highlighting the problem is important. You're not getting the right candidates. You're not getting them quickly enough. That's a problem. Also, I will ask key questions to find out as much information as I can. As soon as I'm about to go, I'll be like, oh, great. I'm about to go. I know on my way out, I can ask another important question. So I will ask that question. So as I did in that situation, just before I was finishing the call, I asked an important question again. You know what I mean? And that helps. What was that important question? I feel like one of those upstairs. Like, what was that question? Yeah. So highlight the problem is very important from the client is facing. You know what, that mug? Yeah, I actually want to. Basically, the female still there. I just realized it is actually thingy. No, it wasn't the pay. It wasn't the pay. What was the last question that I asked that was very important? Yeah, 100% spin. So spin is basically, you know, the situation. Right, in short, basically, you know the situation, you find out what the problem is, and then you hit them with that problem. You're like, oh, this is the problem. How are you dealing with it? How are you solving it? You know what I mean? Exactly, interview. Because just on the way out, I said, by the way, for the right candidate, how soon can you interview? Now, by planting that in the person's head, I've basically said, if you get the right candidate, you better interview them next week. Because if you don't, that's your fault. So I've already started putting that in the person's head. Time is money. I don't want the guy taking 3 months to hire someone because I'd rather close it off quickly. And I already started saying that. I said, that's fine. Let me send you the candidates, get them in for interview. Let's get this sorted as quick as we can for you. Because even a client would want it sorted as quickly as possible. And so you do that on your way out. So I think on that, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I mean, one of you man definitely pranked me in it. One of whoever that was, you man definitely pranked me. Anyway, how do we keep a track of which company? Okay. So by the way, guys, yeah, I'm gonna try shooting off as well, like, because I kind of need to go home. I told my missus half an hour already. But build a list of 1,000 of names. Don't try to keep track. I have to be honest, don't try to keep track, because sometimes by keeping track, obviously have a spreadsheet, write names down, a bit of information, but don't worry about it too much. When you worry about it too much, sometimes you might not call a company back because you had a bad experience with them, but actually you call them next time and someone else picks up. So don't worry about it too much. Yusuf, let me know what you think. Yeah, inshallah, you know what? We'll do this again. If this has been of benefit, well, just let me know. I hope, inshallah, you guys have benefited from this. If you have benefited, I'll happily do this again. No problem. And then maybe we can try different routes, different things to, inshallah, benefit you guys. Wait, before I start seeing actual progress, and if a niche is slow, would you recommend moving to another? Honestly, just non-stop, continuously work on it. And don't put a time limit on it. It's important not to put a time limit on anything. I would say 6 months. Look, I'll tell you like this. This is the best way I can tell you. I assume you mean in terms of recruitment. When you're working in recruitment as a recruitment consultant, you're expected to pass your probation. You have to make £6,000 for the company. If you don't make £6,000 for the company, you get sacked, right? They sack you. So therefore, if you do it for yourself, the minimum you should be aiming for is £6,000, because you could do it for someone else, you could do it for yourself. So I would say £6,000 after 6 months is something likely, is a likely target. And I'm saying that based on the fact that you get sacked if you know what I mean. So inshallah that benefits you guys. But okay, so inshallah that helps you guys. I will leave it here. yeah, inshallah, you guys benefited. Barakallahu feek for everyone joined. If you guys are going to watch this later, I will leave this on the channel. So inshallah, you guys can benefit from it. Wa barakallahu feek. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.